Mistakes will be made, wrong teams will be said. We just need to accept the fact that this will happen and move on. But at the end of the day, yesterday, they put up a really solid performance in the second map against EFrag. They were gone for all money for me, and Pandas have managed to claw their way back and get into a great position, and then end up winning the game and drawing the series. So both of these teams showing a real, I guess, toughness in the face of some battles that are not going their way, but they're able to pull out the second map, which is always pretty good.
And obviously on the flip side of things, we've got Penta, their opponents today. Now, they're playing with a stand-in for their stand-in. So they were going to be playing with Zen. I believe they're playing with Lowell. That's how you spell it, or IOL. I'm not too well versed on that one just yet, but see how he goes. Obviously, they've had a lineup change and had to make that quite late. They were replacing one of their members. Now, Inferno will be the first map, and as we said in this matchup, that is actually going to be Penta's pick. So, an all-important knife round has just gone down, and they are going to be sitting there on the CT side, the slightly favoured CT side. So, Penta have a really good chance here to get themselves up and running on this map. But what we saw from Panthers yesterday was a really strong T side on this same map.
We did, and great entry fragging from Mystic, who's going to be, for me, the player to watch on Panthers, the young, up-and-coming, soon-to-be star player, I believe. But contributions came from everywhere when they were winning rounds. Paint definitely had a few rounds. Skirk has a pretty good AK, as far as I can tell, just pretty consistent, and he's got nice control of that weapon. Mac had some great AWP rounds we saw late in the games yesterday, and of course Polly, the in-game leader and main AWP player, had some rounds of his own, actually 2v1ing to close the game out and getting a team down late in that game to push Panthers to the map win. So yeah, for me, they're gonna have to just turn up and play. They're gonna have to they frag pretty well. They were devoid of, I guess, structured bomb site hits from what we saw yesterday. It's more of a pick and pop team where they'll roll into a choke point together and just see what they can make of each round as it comes, which is absolutely fine. But for that to work, they need to hit some shots.
Right, they hit some shots and essentially just acted on that. But now this is a very aggressive pistol coming out from Penta. Already picking up the headshot there onto Skirk. He goes down quite quickly, and the only member in the banana does fall. And look at this. I guess, readjustment coming in from Penta. They are just now giving up the B bomb site and sending members back. They're just sitting in limbo between the two sites. Quick rotation, I think, is the name of the game here. And as Tarson does spot out some in Banana, he's communicated that to his teammates. And as you can see on the overlay, they're just spread amongst the two bomb sites and are going to wait for a call here.
This is actually was a really good read until Polly got his face ripped off by a headshot from Tamsin, and now the terrorists are reconsidering their options, moving back towards the middle of the map and towards A. But really for Penta here, a great situation to be in. It's a 5 versus 3 on the pistol. Every one of your members has reasonable health, so you're able to do that 3-2 split with your players. But now Panthers will find their way up mid, going to the jungle side of things, and they will be spotted out from Library. But Paint opens it up there onto Lowell, I'm pretty sure that is. And now Tamsin will make his way back towards spawn and have a peek. He sees a couple. He knows the B is coming. B hit's coming in, and he will get taken down. So Mac picking up Tamsin. Now all of a sudden, Tarson's the only one left in the side to defend, and he's having a pretty tough time finding a kill. But luckily, he does get one, does get two, and that should ice the round off for Penta. But there's still a long way to go. Oh, a team kill there coming out. So that's a bit of a crazy shot, and this is going to be a horrible round if they can manage to pull it out. They can't. Mac going down, but that was a great headshot, just on the wrong side of the equation.
One of the sharpest TKs I've seen in a long time. Just
that
a
was intense.
Flick of the wrist. He took his teammate down. Wow. That round could have gone pear-shaped pretty quickly.
Flick, click, rip.
Rip
down.
Indeed, but sure what's going on with the coach at the moment. Coach is just getting himself a bit too involved.
Yeah, It's actually trickier to do than you think, joining a server and going spectate. Sometimes the game, when you press enter, it auto joins you onto a team. It's quite unfortunate because I've had it happen a few times in a couple of the pro games we played back last year.
Obviously, a member of Chiefs Esports here in Australia, yourself. So familiar with the competitive landscape and the competitive rules and the server setups.
Yeah, it is just a little bit annoying when it happens, but nonetheless, it doesn't really affect the outcome. Now, of course, with eBot, everything's so easy to restore. It's not like a couple of years ago we had to get players to connect in a certain order and readjust the money and do all that sort of crazy stuff. Fantastic. The game's come such a long way, both as the individual skill level, also that server side of things increase. But Poly will try and find one up mid now as Panthers look to force buy this one. They've got a bit of armor and also their Tech 9s and a couple of CZs out, but it's going to be Penta doing the job pretty easily, just resting back in that side and allowing the Panthers guys to try and collapse on the bomb site and run into a few crossfires. They're well aware of the positioning now, and it's just a matter of time before Paint manages to find Mike S and will find a second one. So this has turned into a pretty relaxing round to a very expensive endeavor here for Penta. And now Paint will pick up the bomb and make his way back towards the site, and it's going to be empty.
Completely empty too. So he's going to have, I guess, a free shot here at winning this round because stimulate the T economy. He's got a UMP in hand. He's got great position post plant. He's got 100 HP as well. That's the most important factor here. Is he's coming up against two full health terrorists. There's only a smoke and a flash here on Crystal to try and retake here with the stand-in Lowell, and playing it quite well here. Paint does find one. Takes a lot of damage. That Tech 9 doing some damage of its own, but of course, Crystal just putting the icing on that round. And Penta narrowly escape here as they do take that round. 2-0 the score. Panthers, though, with the option to potentially keep pressing the economy here and buying, and that looks to be like they're going to be doing something like that. They're actually going to drop AKs. This is an old-school strategy.
Yeah, this the gun drops coming out for Panthers, so Polly and Mac dropping the 2 rifles for Mystic and Paint. But expensive round there for Penta. They've lost 4 players and also allowed the bomb plant. So regardless of how you look at it, Panthers with a successful force buy round there, just not winning the round, but doing extremely good economical damage to Penta Esports and not allowing them to rack up all those SMG kills in the first couple of rounds. That can actually make a huge difference in stabilizing the CT economy for extended periods of time when the pistol round goes your way and those anti-ecos are nice and smooth. SMGs get a lot of kills and really bolsters the position that you start the game in very early on. But as it stands, Panthers doing a lot of good work, and now they're slowly picking up the jungle side of mid, and Tarson will spot one out and throw that dinky nade, and that actually does a lot of damage. So great grenade there, and the flash from Lowell is going to be good too. It gets a number of the members from Panthers to fall back, but it won't be enough. Paint picking up Tarson. Now the jungle wrap is on here, and they're going to make their way into the side.
That's right, and the headshot from there, Paint just lurking around and wrapping that site, and poor old Tabson is just forced to try and consolidate his position in apartments here, and if he's lucky, it might actually pick someone up on the lurk if just narrowly missing Skirk as he got into the pit finally, and this will be a 3 versus 3 situation. Counter-terrorists are right there on the site, and they're just not too sure of the positioning of the other terrorists around this site, but as we can see on the overlay, they're actually playing 2 in that pit, which is a very dangerous setup here. Paint does fall down early. Crystal takes him down. Here as the counter-terrorists make their way through the site. Great headshot there from Skirk, but of course they know the position here of poor old Polly. Not too much you can do in that situation. The kit will make that defuse also easy, and Penta, whilst they're, I guess, just surviving these rounds, they're making them count, and this is good pressure from Panthers on the CT economy because, as you can see, their losses are not quite covered by the win bonus here just yet, and if Panthers, sorry, as the first slip-up occurs with these 2 teams' names, if Panthers can continue to put pressure on their economy, they will see themselves be able to find a loophole in that CT utility and that CT economy.
Well, that's right. Having control of the money on Inferno, more than other maps, is crucial because as soon as you win that, as soon as Panthers win a T round, if they continue to get 3 or more kills each round, even though they lose, As soon as they win one, the CTs will be on double eco. So that will be 1:3 for Panthers if they can continue in this vein of play where they're getting a lot of kills, just not finally winning the round. Because once they do, they'll have Penta in a spot of bother. So I like the force buy here from Panthers. All hope is not lost yet as they push up Banana and try and find their way into this site. But Panthers actually stacked 3 players towards this B site, so this isn't going to be a fun time for Panthers in just a moment if they choose to go in. But the flash comes over from one of the Penta players, and Tarson goes down to Mac, which is a great shot, but there's still 3 members there. There's still 2 more to go. Mac picks up 1, but there's still one of the players inside B defending that, and now the T's should push in together. As they do, they finally group up and make their way into the side. Mike S, hitting one there, but getting traded out. So now it's a 2 versus 2, and once again, Panthers find that elusive 3-kill mark and will attempt to win this round. But it's a 2 versus 1 at the moment, and Polly needs to get it done.
Polly is in good position to get this done. He does look for that first frag, because as we said, fighting that headshot there onto Llewell. He's low himself, but of course, traded out again by Crystal. And a lot of these rounds are coming down to 1 versus 1s, which, as we said, is putting so much pressure on the CT economy. It's just a matter of time before they're broken. But at the moment, they're standing quite strong. They're capitalizing, taking that 4th round. And, of course, streaking away.
Yeah, it's a funny statistic looking at the start of this round. In a total of the first 4 rounds, 10 players are alive each round. 9 players have died in 3 of the rounds, and 8 players in one of the last remaining rounds. So much death, so much trading, and such an even start to the game. It's 4-0 on the scoreboard, but literally 2 kills separates Penta from Panthers. It's a great contest opening up here as finally Penta seem to get a good start to a round, which will aid them in their quest to go up 5-0 here. But Panthers are right there, and the economy still will suffer here for Penta if they can't string a couple of rounds together where they don't lose more than 3 players. It's one of those situations where they just need to keep grinding, and they're loving these round wins, but they know they're right on the edge of dropping off. And Mike S picks up an AWP kill there and really consolidates this round.
Right, Panthers are playing a dangerous game. Obviously, they know that the counter-terrorists are quite low on one thing, either a strong weapon or utility. And they're trying to bait out the utility to try and find out whether or not it is the strong weapon that they have, potentially. But he's losing the picks in the meantime. And this is a good round so far for Penta. And this is going to be one of the first rounds where they don't take a lot of casualties, as now just Paint remains. If he can get another kill or another 2 kills here, it would be a great round for him. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Crystal wrapping that one up, and as we said, this is the first round that they've actually had more than 2 people surviving. So 5-0 the score, and first chance for them to build an economy.
Yeah, that for me is crucial in the context of this game, because had that first blowout gun round, we say a blowout, there was 3 or 4 remaining members on the Panther team. That first blowout round gone to Panthers, we could be looking at a very different game even towards the back half of this match. We're not sure yet, but the B rush should come in now, and all the members are pushing through. The SMGs will rain in, and Tarson will pick up 3, in fact, with that M4 close range, and now slow the attack of the terrorists down. And here they come, the last couple. Crystal finds one through the smoke. It's all going to be a matter of fact, but another TK has come out. Crystal's just TK'd through the smoke and then fired an extra bullet for good measure and picked up Polly. That's just standard online Counter-Strike at its finest. The smoke TK and then the smoke 1B. It's fantastic viewing, but you'd be scratching your head if you were Polly.
I can't explain that. That's absolutely phenomenal. But nonetheless, they win another round and they have 3 members surviving. So, as you can see, poor old Mac burns alive there, burnt at the stake to wrestle back banana control from Panthers. And, well, just shoulder peeking there in carpet. Has a rifle, but is using the pistol to shoulder peek there, just not exposing as much of himself as possible. And this is where Panthers are being bullied out of these choke points quite well by Penta.
Yeah, I was just about to use that term bullied because I think that's the best way to approach teams with, I guess, a very puggy style in Panthers, a team that doesn't have a lot of coordinated bomb site hits. You basically just put coordinated pressure across the map and get these pushes going as groups of two, just so doesn't give Panthers an opportunity to just pick off kills one by one and then just storm into a bomb site. But they will find a couple of kills here. Now Paint will get into the bomb site in B and get the jump on Tarson. I think he's going to get it. He does. Great shot there. Now it's a 2 versus 2 once again, and hopefully this can go the way of Panthers. They're in great position to do so. Good stuff there from Paint, playing that smoke to perfection, just allowing Lowell to think that he can get through. And now Polly will turn it up and take down Mike as Panthers jump finally onto the scoreboard at 6-1. And still, even at this point, the money for Penta is so precarious. They will force a buy, but it will be a patchy buy. It'll just be, look at this, an SMG and a FAMAS coming out here. So this is the reward for good work for Panthers so far, and hopefully if they cash in on this one, Penta will be in a much deeper hole.
Well, it works both ways because that's why Penta are buying into this round. They think that they can potentially break the terrorist money and reset their economy. So it's a dangerous game that both teams are playing here, and it's a risk versus reward. But I think momentarily Mike S is going to be flashed through that smoke as Carson just does a little bit of damage to Mac, and it's a very tense standoff here at the top of Banana. It's almost the El Dorado. As a moment's time, they try and wrestle back some control as Banana. But as you can see, Panthers are playing a very patient game. They're just burning counter-terrorist utility, and we'll see all members make their way into that Banana. Look,
they think they've had a lot of success there, but I just a very cautious approach for me should be taken towards this B bomb site, because although they've been getting plants, they've been really heavily impacted running into this B bomb site. So there's been a lot of entry kills, a lot of damage, a lot of slowing grenades that have come in, and they still will go for this B attack. And once again, Tarson's able to open up one before Mac trades out on Tarson, and he gets a great push going to CT spawn. Unable to finish that one off because he runs out of ammo, but he will flank very quickly and find Tamsin in the back and now push out once again towards the truck. Very aggressive play from Panthers there. They're going to bully Penta out of this B bomb site. And although I said to be very cautious for them the way they enter, they've thrown that caution to the wind. They've kept their aggressive play style into that B bomb site, and they've come out the victors. And Penta, if they're able to save these two guns, should get a decent-ish buy-in. But once again, their money is on the fritz. So great round there for Panthers, and good consolidation round with them for having 4 alive and keeping that AWP in play.
that's right. They've kept that AWP in play, and it see its way through to the next round. But it's always going to be a question of whose money broke first. And, well, as you can see, they've saved 2 guns. They might try and force their way into this. I wouldn't be surprised from what we've seen from Penta so far, but they're playing a very disciplined game.
Yeah, they definitely should try and buy their way into this because they've got those 2 guns, and they know if they lose the next round, they're going to be on eco anyway. They're going to be in a save round regardless of what happens this round almost to that level. So I think that they should have invested into this round and tried to make those 2 guns work. Maybe continue that aggressive play style with some flashes over B and taking that Nana control. But as it stands, they've decided to go for the 3 ecos, just a 5-7 on Tarson and a P250 on Mike S, with Tamsin taking the full luxury of the not buying the items. An interesting boost there from Tarson. He's just usually you see a player get up on to that roof on the balcony and spot down that line, but great little innovative change up there, just staring through the column pillar between the roof and the bricks and getting a good angle on the first terrorist that walks up the mid ramp. But as it stands, Penta is just going to play defensive, and Lowell, the substitute, with a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, holding down that B bomb site solo, and it will be Mystic opening up onto Tarson, and Mike takes down Mac as well, and Tabson picks up Mystic on a fadeaway 5-7 route that he was running, and now Mike S will just defend that diggity or hut side of mid, and all 3 terrorists are making their way into A. Oh, bad timing there for Mike S as he tries to get to the pit into a safer position, and now Panthers will open up the A bomb site. They should be able to get this plant down and head into a 3 versus 3. That with these 2 guns on Penta, is this worth saving, Jim?
Well, they're trying to see if they can find a frag early. Obviously, they've got the kit on Crystal. They've only got 1 flash, though, so for me, that they don't have a lot of utility to burn in this retake, but that smoke just means that they're going to have to wait and bide their time even further. So Crystal's going to utilize this 1 flash here. That might only get Polly, potentially Paint in the graveyard here. Ooh, they do come to a head here. Paint in great position to pick up a multiple frag round as Polly and him combine quite well, and they just deny Penta this retake oh so well. Panthers finally getting themselves a 3rd round, and this is really, again, a sketchy buy coming out just because they don't have the utility for me, Penta. But, of course, they need to buy into this round to try and keep the pressure on Panthers and just maximise that advantage that comes with having the CT side on Inferno. But look, sending 3 to Banana here, Pete.
Yeah, and I was right with you there on that save round, only having 1 flash as Mike S picks up a good start to the round there, picking up Mac. But I was right with you there with that 1 flash. There's no real way to get back to that bomb site when the pit's completely overrun, and they really could have used at 6-2 up. There was no need to force that round. They had every chance to then buy more utility this round, and obviously we'll see how this one pans out. 2020 hindsight's a powerful thing. But playing the percentage-wise, they weren't really a good shot of winning that previous round with just the 1 flash. But they went for it. They didn't make it. Now they're into another buy round, but as you said, limited utility at their disposal. The AWP of Mike S unable to connect there with the push from Skirk, and he'll jump out the window and find his way back to B once again, Jim.
Look at this stack coming in at the B bomb site. This is just utilising the cover that fountain affords. As I believe Tabson's up there at the moment. They do break the stack though, so unfortunately we don't get to see it in action against this B site hit, but they are streaking in. And now Tabson looks at that first frag, does a lot of damage, but Tarson is just sitting, burning alive, and that Molotov does eventually get taken down, and now Paint finds the 2 frags that he needs to get into that bomb site, but unfortunately all his teammates around him have just fallen like toy soldiers, and a 3 versus 1 will need to be played out for them to take this round. Panthers are a little bit on the back foot here as Lowell and Crystal will make their way through the construction here. Paint does find 1 before he's traded out quite quickly, so good work from there. Lowell, the stand-in, standing in place of their actual stand-in, Zen. So a stand-in for a stand-in, stand-inception. But they are making it work, Penta.
Yeah, and as I sort of said before, even though if I'm Panthers and I'm getting into that B bomb site, it's costing me a lot. It's costing me a lot of resources. It's costing me a lot of players. It's costing me a lot of HP. Penta's doing a great job of holding up and causing delays, so the rotation comes in at quite a nice speed for Penta. But interestingly enough, we saw that boost coming in the middle of the site as Panthers once again buys up fully, and they'll have a full crack at this gun round with AKs and all the utility they require. But interestingly enough, the Germans have always been on the front foot in terms of innovative boosts and different ways of utilizing the map. They've always been one of the greatest nations and scenes of manipulating that style of play and becoming really productive. Of course, Mouse Sports making a lot of those things famous in 1.6, and they really revolutionized that part of the game, turning those Pugmaster style strats into usable, workable, professional sort of strategies. So as Penta get on the front foot here, they absolutely rip through Panthers that round. There's killings. The round only lasted about 30 seconds. There was kills everywhere, and now Panthers will be on a force buy.
Right, and the CTs are finally really building some economy, streaking away to a bit of a lead here. But again, this is that banana control we spoke about here, coming up from Penta. Mike S, in the meantime, he's just pushing his way down mid. This aggression all across the map is paying dividends, and Panthers are just left reeling at the moment as Tabson does find a Polly and a second one. Skirk caught in the little trenches there in mid. And now, again, familiar situation. Paint in a 1vx situation does find the first frag. More importantly, reveals his position now to Crystal. That bomb is in a very difficult spot for Lowell, and he should be able to defend it quite easily here. Paint has a lot of work to do.
There's a lot of work to do, but also for me, it was a great adjustment by Penta. They realized that Panthers were favoring that B bomb site, and instead of allowing them to have it time after time and having to defend that bomb site and give away bomb plants, which was feeding the terrorist economy, they've decided, no, we're not going to give them banana at all. They've shot people down mid. They've pushed B, completely shut down the Panthers B option, and now it's up to Panthers to make the adjustment to try and make their way back onto the A bomb site, or make something work for them. But as it stands, Tarson's going to make his way down mid and meet up with the running eco of Panthers. He will pick up a double, and this will, I guess, just Panther out to nothing.
Well, needless to say, this is absolutely crushing from the counter-terrorists here. They're showing no respect to Panthers, and Panthers are a team that have, what we saw from them on Inferno the other night was that they were fairly well structured, and a way to disrupt a well-structured team, particularly like Panthers, a team that doesn't practice that often. My guess is just dominating his opponents here at mid. A way to upset them and disrupt their rhythm is essentially go quite aggressive, and that's exactly what Penta have done right now. They didn't need to do it again this round, but they've certainly left Panthers suffering from the effects of previous rounds. So again, as you can see, they haven't even progressed out of second mid or the bottom of mid just yet. They're still cautious of pushes.
Yeah, they've really been forced to play defensive and wait for those pushes because of how aggressive Penta have been. And Crystal will find Mac just giving away a little bit too much of his body through that side of that smoke. But really, for me, it's been about the difficulty for the Panthers players to find entry frags. Even though they've been getting into bomb sites and getting those plants down, it's cost them a lot. And as such, players like Mystic and I guess Skirt as well, they've had so much impact in previous games, multi-fragging and getting into that site early, as we once again see the Penta B defense hold strong. Mystic and Skirk yesterday, when they were looking good, Panthers not only got the entry kill, but then rolled into the bomb site and got 1 or 2 more kills to secure those rounds. Penta are making it so hard for the entry kills to come out that they're really, I guess, momentum-based players in Mystic and Skirk have no opportunity to get going, and as such, the entire T-side has been stalled for Panthers.
Right, I mean, we looked at the scoreboard just there, and we saw Skirk really struggling at the moment with the frags, as he does actually find his third frag for the half onto Tabson there, who was pushing, getting really aggressive into the second mid window and picking down. Probably overstayed his welcome there, as he'd already capitalised and got a frag in that instance. But again, this is just the level of aggression that Penta are showing on Inferno, and really, as we said, just not allowing Panthers to get into any comfortable positions at all. Once they recognised that B was the potential weakness, getting in there and giving it up, as we saw in the first 5 or 6 rounds or so. Since then, they've just no respected Panthers at all and just wrestle control back as Tarson just tries to consolidate the site now.
And Penta have done a great job moving this AWP around on CT side. First of all, they would get a pick and banana before moving the AWP back to mid, and Mike S. Crystal does have an AWP as well, so they have 2 AWPs at the moment, but when it was just that one AWP operating for Penta, when their money was sketchy, it was Mike S. gravitating towards mid and then back to B, and really making it difficult for the Penta players to know where they were going to get attacked from. And he's done a great job of just really controlling the pace with that, and he's going to be once again called into action here as the smokes, flashes, and Molotovs rain in, but Tarson and Mike S will find one as they run in, but Skirk allowed to get close there, and he'll pick up a double. That's what I was talking about. Finally, the B defense cracks, and it's Skirk picking up a double and rolling through the B defense. Now it's a 2 versus 2, and it's a must-win here for Panthers. This might spark something and get them going on their CT side, Jim.
We know how difficult the terrorist side can be, so great headshot there from Mr. Skirk. He gets caught though. Lowell just doing the damage, and now we'll have to go 1 versus 1 paint. The form player from this half for Panthers really has been their guiding light, but Lowell is just sticking this. And
pros don't fake.
Pros don't fake, but of course, paint not falling for that. Takes the head and secures their 4th round. So good halves come out, and well, it's my experience, it been anything but for poor old Panthers.
Yeah, I just can't get over those first 4 rounds where, you know, out of a possible 40 kills that could have come out in the game, if everyone died in all 4 rounds, there was, I think, 35 or 36 of the total 40 frags in those first 4 rounds coming out. So those rounds could have gone either way that whole time. And instead of talking about an 11-4 skyline, we could be talking as many as 8-7 here for Panthers if those rounds had gone differently.
And I guess just quickly on the stand-in that Penta are using, actually, yeah, just to confirm, it is Lowell from G-Bots who played in the ESL Barcelona challenge. So obviously fresh off the experience there. So using quite a decent stand-in from what we saw from G-Bots there. But geez, Panthers have started really well in this pistol round, as we do see Paint under a lot of pressure here at the B bomb side. He's supported now by a teammate, and they do fall. Mike Lowell just goes down. Mike S makes it across, and well, he's the only member in this B bomb site. He's the one with the bomb. Funnily enough, his teammate Crystal has yet to actually arrive on scene, and he is taken down quite quickly by Skirk. So unfortunately for him, that means that Crystal doing a bit of work there, finding that frag, but of course, a matter of time before he's taken down by Polys. Panthers with the ideal start to this second half.
Yeah, and it's a great start because of who got the kills for me. Paint continued to roll on, but I think in that round it was Skirk who got at least 1 kill as well. So I'd loved, at the back end of that T half, he got 3 kill in one of the last rounds or was the last round of the half to get himself going. And now you can see he was very close to the bottom of the scoreboard. Now he's found his way back to the middle. And this is important because we talk about kill disparity a lot in terms of your top fragger versus your bottom fragger. And at the moment, Penta's definitely winning that battle. But if Mystic can get just a few more kills and get himself going and pull himself up to that 10 frag ranges, the B-Rush will come in. It'll be interesting to see how many we'll get. But Tarbson picks up Holly straight away, and the lawnmower does nothing to help Mac out. And the Mac Daddy goes down in B, spraying that Bison wildly. And, ooh, Mystic finding one through the smoke. Will that get him going as Paint picks up a P90 kill as well? Tarson firing that Deagle off into the smoke, just trying to get a kill, but Mystic will pick up one, and Paint will also pick up one. It's trading out time for Panthers, and I don't mind that because they didn't have any rifles, Jim. I don't mind the fact that a few of them died because all of them had SMGs, so nothing really lost there.
Not too much of an investment, well, as much comparatively compared to rifles. So, as you say, if they did get frags before they were taken down as well, they did receive some remuneration for their effort. But I guess more to the stand-in here for Penta, Lowell, the player from G-Bots. Obviously, Penta are a team that have a few different languages speak with Mike S in there, but adding Spanish into the mix as well, that certainly means that more than likely they're going to be calling in English. But Lowell's actually, despite being quite a young player, actually has a fairly rich experience as they do move on to the bomb site. Absent and both Crystal open things up and make it all too easy here. Lowell's actually watching the backs of his Penta teammates, but bomb does eventually go down.
That's a very, very worrying round for me for Panthers. We saw even though Penta was defending B and Panthers were, you know, given a lot of grief trying to get into B by Penta. This is so hard to cast with Penta versus Panthers. It's just twisting my tongue constantly. But Panthers found it very difficult to get into B, even though they were getting the plant and even though they were rolling into that site often, that it was costing them a lot. And we harped on that quite a bit. And just for me there, Penta able to just walk all the way up Nana. Panthers had no banana control at all. They just walked into the site, killed both players instantly, and then took control of the site with no fight at all. So, for me, there's nothing stopping them from doing that every round. Panthers need to immediately get on the front foot here and get that banana control back. Otherwise, we're going to see every round Penta slowly walk up banana and just get those kills.
More importantly, that chews up time as well. As we saw, they didn't even worry about time being an issue in that round because they hit that site quite early and grouped up and walked straight in. As you said, just traded really well and didn't really take as heavy losses as you would expect. But another buy round coming out, and really, both teams here is funnily enough, you see terrorists with FAMASs, and you see the terrorists with Tech 9. So they've traded weapons there as they've saved out.
They definitely have. But for me, it's going to be about this B-bomb site once again if Penta want to go back there. But they've decided to run into the guns, and Mystic and Skirk team up well there before Tarson actually bides his time and goes back towards B. And Mike S will find his way from second mid back to mid. But Panthers stacking both of their pistol eco players at B, not moving one of the rifles to that side of the map. So they took a big risk there that Penta wouldn't immediately go back to B and try and get those picks as we were discussing. But as it stands, they're going to make their way up mid and they're going to come into a 2 versus 2. So the defensive Panthers has been split up here and they will have a numbers advantage at the A bomb site.
Right, and that smoke will come in, which means they're going to wrap. And Skirk is going to be put under a lot of pressure here. That Molotov means he can't pick the angles he wants to. He's still managing to shoot a few in the back, funnily enough, as he does find enough of an angle to chop down poor old of Carson now. Makes his way to the site, 15 HP. Has to go 1-on-2. Doesn't really have a lot of information as to where the cannon terrorists are, and they're just grouped up, waiting for this smoke to dissipate here. At Midget and Tarson. That they're going to come from Diggity. Does take the peek onto Skirk. He'll probably use this Molotov to try and Molotov the bomb off, but I don't think his position is going to allow him. They exchange Molotovs, and Paint is just going to burn alive trying to defuse this bomb. Unfortunately, doesn't pan out for him the way they wanted to. Penta take that 13th round. Panthers are struggling with that economy.
Yeah, but great individual decision making there from the last member of Penta. After getting that first kill, he knew he was low, and he knew he had a Molotov, so he immediately backed off, didn't go for the rifle kill, and knew that he could play the time game there. So very quick and astute decision making there from the Penta player, allowing him to grab that round from the fire as Tamsin opens up onto Skirk, which is a great start. And we see some spam coming out here through the wall and carpet for one member of Penta, but nothing will connect there, and Mac is taking a very aggressive approach towards this B bomb site, already at a numbers disadvantage. But for me, Jim, this has all been about Penta and their ability to just control the map on both sides. They had way better control on CT side, and now they're displaying a great level of map control on T side and just using the positional advantage that they have each round because they're taking the aggressive approach.
That's right, they're taking the initiative. They're on the front foot always with, and have been on this map, but Mac just charging inexplicably into the foray there, but now Mystic trying to defend that A site. Really not a lot he could do there, unfortunately, but Polly a long way away from the action, trying to reposition himself in second mid here, trying to get away with the gun, perhaps cheekily, but I don't like his chances here right now because there's not too many people around for him to frag, let alone take a gun off.
Yeah, I think for me, Mystic needed to look to save that rifle there. He's picked up the rifle and carpet. He's in a 2 versus 5 situation with the enemy knowing exactly where he was. So the minute that he stepped out of that A Halls area, he was just taken down by multiple enemies looking in his direction. I just feel as though that AK could have gone to better use this round with limited resources on Mac, you can see there, and Paint not being able to afford a diffuser kit as well. And a number of the CTs, I don't think they even have a diffuser kit on their team. So that AK would have at least allowed one player to grab that diffuser and affect this round potentially. But as it stands, it'll be another Penta B hit. And this is what I was very concerned about, I guess. The ability of Penta to just walk up Banana and take control and just get those frags and roll into this bomb site. But Polly will defend from close here, and we see Lowell in the A halls.
Right, Lowell the stand-in tasked with being the lurker, and he's in a good position to do a lot of damage. They're entering onto that B site quite well. Now Lowell has a chance to actively lurk this map as he might actually catch out Skirk getting around this bomb site. And that's exactly what happens there. So great work from the stand-in, the young Spanish star. And now the CTs are close to the B site, but not really in an ideal situation here because that Molotov is just preventing Mystic. Gets barely with his life there as Paint finds the frag, and they're going to continue to force the issue here, but Paint does fall. Mystic's only got 5 HP, so that will just remain a dream for him to try and retake here. He's going to try and get a few exit frags. Does find 2, so good work from him. And Crystal will pursue, but of course not at a pace that will catch Mystic out. One should think, as he does take his gun into the next round, but PENTA are just making it look so easy, and now they have match point.
They have a lot of match points. I think 9, if my math serves me correctly. They have 9 match points coming up in a row. And I guess for me, small decisions like the decision for Mystic not to save that gun really do come back to bite you, as they, I guess, had less than ideal resources there and no kit, so they never really had a chance of retaking that B bomb site once it was lost anyway. And the higher up you go in Counter-Strike or any sort of competitive industry, whether it be sport or esports, every decision that you make, if it's a mistake, it will be punished harder and harder the better your opposition gets. So little mistakes here adding up for Panthers, but they did show an ability early on to grind out these rounds, and I just hope that finally they can, after getting that entry kill, they can make this work for them. And the Penta guys have completely abandoned the idea of B this round and are focused on getting that A kill, as Lowell picks up a great kill on Paint there to bring this back to a 4v4 and balance the ledger, and they're going to find their way into A, and Mystic will open up onto one out of carpet, but that won't last very long. He gets forced back into the site. He gets spotted out. Lowell not picking up 1, but doing a lot of damage. It's all about Mystic here. He picks up 1, he picks up 2. The young star player will pick up a 3rd. That's absolutely massive, as Tabson stands idly behind that smoke and just watches the world go past him. Mystic picking up a triple. And now it's a 2 versus 1 situation. Mystic will pick up the 4th kill for the round. He's pulled it back. And great round for him. Great round for Panthers. But there'll be a pause coming out here for PENTA.
Yeah, on the back of the lag out there, unfortunately, that was really boggling to me as to why he would sit back idly and watch all of his teammates head in, sitting in the smoke. But of course, we now know that he lagged out. Now, Panthers have 8 match points to try and defend here if they want to take this into overtime and win this first matchup. Concerning thing for me is that the next match, or next map that's selected in the pool, Penta's better maps too. So Dust 2 map, of course, this was Penta's pick on Inferno. It doesn't bode well for Panthers.
It doesn't, but yesterday we saw EFrag on their selection, which was Dust 2, a seemingly very good Dust 2 team, get taken down by Panthers on that map. So, personally, I said this yesterday as well, Panthers, the way that they play, and because Polly is actually the caller and AWPer, Dust 2 as a map lends itself more to that style, because the caller can sit in mid watching the world go by, but also be able to contribute with the AWP.
To be fair, though, that match was more or less EFrag trying to force buy into it multiple times.
That's very true.
It was more EFrag losing that map than Panthers, say, winning. So, as funny as that sounds, EFrag tried to force buy in a lot of those rounds, and it didn't work, clearly.
Clearly, you're actually spot on there. EFrag force bought themselves into oblivion and wrecked their economy for their entire T side.
Wrecked their counterpick chances of making the finals, unfortunately.
Yeah, so there was a pretty devastating match of Dust 2 there for EFrag, but nonetheless, Panthers did manage to win that game, so there is hope for them on Dust 2 if they can't manage to come out of Inferno with 8 more rounds and an overtime victory. But if they can just get a few rounds, I feel as though in the last couple of rounds, Jim, Mystics got going. In the back half of the T half and now early CT half, Skirk has got a few more kills. Paint's already played well. Polly is contributing as the in-game leader. He's got 10 kills, 6 assists, so he's right up there on the scoreboard as well. It's just been Mac that's been struggling, but we both said yesterday, he looked much better on the AWP.
Yeah, definitely. he was much more comfortable on the AWP, and he really opened things up on Dust too on their left.
Absolutely.
But you make comment of Mystic. He finished that first half with 2 frags. So as a measure of how far he's come in this the second half, he's actually managed to get himself 10 frags in the course of that time. So much more involved on the counter-terrorist side, much more comfortable. But again, he's going to need to get involved further because basically they're defending match points. They're defending 8 of them, and they're going to really rely on him. So he's going to need to stand strong here if Panthers are going to make their way through with a potential win.
Well, I think Penta should, if they're hell-bent on winning this map, should just keep that B pressure up. I don't think that the combination of Mac and Polly, who are the 2 B players at the moment, is going to be enough to defend a full Penta bomb site hit. So hopefully Penta can just see the forest through the trees here and make the right call eventually as they spread out evenly. And Mystic and Skirk team up and just blow Tabson off the face of the earth. Double grenades there, just pumping the German player. And he will go down instantly. It's a great start to the round for Panthers, and they need to capitalize on a start like this. But they just need to make sure that Penta don't even up the ledger here without losing another player. That's going to be key. Can they avoid Penta getting another pick and evening up that scoreboard and forcing a rotation?
That's right, and as you can see, the Bombers actually just sitting idly in second mid. They've taken apartments control. Llewell and Mike S and Crystal just sitting, waiting, watching, seeing if they can find a frag here at top mid. Crystal gets flashed into top mid pillars, but of course not able to find anything. Those Molotovs are just going to try and force them back and hold them at bay. There is a minute still left on the clock as all 4 members now of Penta are going to try and work this A site, but of course they're being met by the 3 members of Panthers as Mystic takes down one before he's straight out quite quickly. That grenade of paint doing a lot of damage, taking down Tarson, and now just a 4 versus 2. That bomb is sticking together with his teammate Crystal and Llewell, the stand-in. Gonna have to make something work here. Skirk does catch them looking the other way, and well, they're gonna actually potentially split here as Llewell's made his way through the arch, but again, not capitalizing on that small opening that they've got in opportunity. We have the blessing of the overlay, but they need to make this work on this A site. And they're going to be met with a lot of resistance here. Llewell actually picks up the frag onto Skirk, and just a man in the pit as Paint. There's not much you can do from that position because bomb plant is actually really well orchestrated, and now a 2 versus 2 or 2 versus 3 in that site. As unfortunately, Crystal does fall, and his teammate soon after that, Llewell. Great retake handling there from Panthers, but of course losing a lot of losing too many members in the process. It was a very back and forth round, but of course their momentum rolls on, and they've got match points to defend here. 7 more to go.
7 more to go, and I think they were lucky to get away with that, to be honest. There was 2 players left in A, and both of them were almost caught off guard by the movements of the Penta players. They both came back to the A bomb site through the CT side of things, and Skirk got caught off guard and almost Paint going down the pit. If Paint had gone down in the pit there was going to be a lot of problems here, but Skirk, as it stands, will just fire his rifle down mid, pick up 2 headshots before Mystic and Polly are able to pick up 1 apiece. Mike S will be left in, I'm going to go ahead and say, an unwinnable round. It's an untenable situation to be in if you're Mike S. There isn't many opportunities to win. I don't know how many more ways I could phrase this, but it's going to be a tough ask.
Look, if it was Hiko, maybe, but it isn't. It's Mike S. Nothing against
Hiko.
Mike S. Hiko just has.
Hiko, are you mad?
Hiko just has inhuman reactions, but
He does.
Mike S is making a go of it. He still has a minute to work with. He has his 3 more members to find. Of course, if he wins this round, Penta do win the map. He does have an AK, so he does have some armor as well. But of course, 1 bullet from that Colt will just give him a bit of a nap. But smartly, Panthers are just waiting.
I mean, look, he shouldn't win this round, Mike S. But this is scary how Panthers are playing this. They've got 3 1 versus 1s available to Mike S. Now, he probably won't find any of these 1 kill rounds because he's going to get flanked, but he eventually See, they finally managed to team up there in a choke point, but for a long time there were 3 CT dots floating around the map in very, very different positions, and I was concerned that they were going to get themselves picked off. Because it's not, remember, it's not just that round they were thinking of. If he had got a couple more kills there, that buy round would have looked much, much worse for Panthers. So, Panthers pulling it back, and only now 6 to defend before we go to overtime.
But they didn't really want to lose to Glocks there, did they?
No, they did not.
Would not be an ideal way to lose a map.
Well, especially since it was a 5 versus 1 on full eco. That would be a pretty devastating way to lose a map. I think that pretty much after that, your night would be over. Mentally, but lucky for them it didn't happen. Panthers able to eventually lock down that side of things. Now, Penta look for the elusive 16th round. Panthers doing a good job of sticking with it. 3 in a row so far. 6 to go. 1/3 of the work done before we go to overtime. Penta just working the map over now, and you can see they've managed to walk their way up to Banana, and this is going to be available to them all the time. But 3 Panthers players there have been now, so this could work out well for them as Tarson opens up, but Mac and Polly will just go to town. That molly, the combination of the two, cooks 2 people, or maybe even 3 people. Those grenades are great. And that's a good sign for Panthers. They weren't able to just get in there, even though the entry kill went to Penta. It was about the grenades, it was about the slowing effect, it was about the teamwork, and that's much better from Panthers. And all they needed was a sniff, and now they're back, and Penta are back on eco.
Good old barbecue down at B. Really? That's...
Throw a shrimp on the barbie, mate.
We actually don't say that here in Australia. But,
I've never said that in my life, in actual context. I've never said it.
Other than jokingly in cars. Jeez, the frags are coming thick and fast here. Mystic actually picking up 2. We said that warning signs were that he was waking up. And he was going to potentially be devastating if they were going to come back into this match, Panthers. He was going to be looking at him, and he's already picked up his 3rd for the round. He's looking for his 4th. Potentially a little bit too hastily, but nonetheless, they clean that round up, Panthers. Bringing us back, 15-11 to score.
Yeah, and Mystic, I mean, waking up is an understatement. He's gone from 2 for 14 or something ridiculous up to 18 for 21. So he's really caught fire in this second half and brought them back kicking and screaming. His defense at A has been impeccable. His timing's been fantastic. So he's really coming along on the CT side of things. And as I said, he may have actually been playing quite well on T side, but we never would have known because of how good the B defense was for Penta at the start. Now Penta will find their way into B, trying to close out this game, but Mystic and Polly open up with 2 early kills, and it's going to be Lowell trapped in the base there, trying to fight his way in. He'll find 1. The grenade will be good as well, and he'll push in, probably find the second one with the spam. He does pick up a double, and now it's a 3 versus 3, but Mystic has found his way ever so close to this B side, and he'll pop flash through and try and push in, but Lowell will be aware to the danger, pick up Mystic, and this is a dangerous round here for Panthers. It looks like they're finally going to be cracked.
Well, the stand-in is going absolutely ham. Well, has found 3 frags already in this round, and looking for his 4th as well. He's got Skirk potentially lined up for another frag here, and well, Paint is going to have the drop onto him. And it's going to go 1 versus 1 here. Crystal, the AWP is caught in the corner, and he's just inching around, finding that frag. 16-11 to score. First map going the way of Penta. Well, just stepping in and stepping up as he does make his mark on that round. And what a performance from Penta. Panthers, though, credit to them. They made a go of it, and unfortunately not enough there in the end. But that scoreboard there, as we said, Mystic really getting himself involved in that second half, turning around the 2 for 14 deficit into 19